Well, it is that time of year again, folks, where we are gearing up for the Desert AIDS Walk. And joining us now is CJ Tobe. He is the Director of Community Health with Desert AIDS Project. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Let's talk about DAP's work to end the HIV pandemic. How are you reaching out to communities most at risk?
So we're doing a lot of things here at Desert AIDS Project. Through the COVID-19 pandemic, we're making sure that DAP and the community knows that we are still committed to ending the HIV epidemic here in the Coachella Valley. So we're allowing people to come pick up condoms at the facility here at DAP. We are also mailing condoms. We're providing at-home HIV test kits. So people don't want to come to our clinics for HIV testing for fear of COVID-19. So we're now mailing HIV tests to where someone can do their own HIV test in the confines of their own home.
How exactly does that work with the at-home test? Do they then mail something in?
So what happens is you contact us. We end up calling you to confirm your mailing information. And if you rather pick it up at DAP for confidentiality purposes, we also arrange that. And then what you do is we send a little kit with that client and with step-by-step instructions, but it's a stick that you take and swirl it around your mouth. It's a saliva-based HIV test, and then you get your results then in 20 minutes. It's a very easy test to do by yourself.
Okay, now, many people don't get tested for HIV because knowing means you actually have to do something about it, right? So how can you reassure people that getting tested is the right decision for them?
So if there's any way we're going to end the HIV epidemic, it's that everybody is tested for HIV at least once in their lifetime. And knowing your status, it protects you, but it also protects the community. And yes, if somebody does test HIV positive, there is additional steps that they have to do. I can say what I've seen and I witnessed firsthand is that an HIV diagnosis has empowered a lot of people to take control of, yes, their sexual health, but also their overall health. And it's really engaged people who are living with HIV to come to DAP and get connected with primary care, behavioral health, dental services, and our wellness center.
And another thing I know DAP does is just overall awareness. That's one of the most important things, right? And that eliminates fear.
Exactly. So stigma is still very much alive here in 2020. I would like to think it's not as severe as it was in the 1980s and 90s. So people who are living with HIV and taking HIV medication as prescribed by their doctor, the viral load, the amount of HIV virus in their blood actually becomes undetectable, which means they cannot transmit HIV to an HIV negative person. And this alone has really combated stigma.
Now, this all is leading up, of course, to the big annual fundraiser. People want to know where their dollars are going when they donate or fundraise. So tell us how some of the services you provide are helpful.
So to be honest with you, there's no way the community health department can really pivot and address the needs of the community because they're constantly changing without the generosity of our donors and community members. And then also our grants team here at DAP. Without donor support and grant funding, there is no way that the community health department would be able to go out in the community and provide services. Right.
And I've heard statistics like $25 provides one client counseling sessions and that mailed HIV test, just $25. So the money goes a long way, right?
It does. And just to give it a comparison, our on-site HIV tests are roughly about $10. So the at-home HIV test kits are significantly more. And for us to be able to continue to offer this at-home testing service through the COVID-19 pandemic and beyond until we end the HIV epidemic, it's crucial that we're able to fund those tests so people know their status.
Just one more reason why people should get involved in this year's Desert AIDS Walk. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, CJ.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
We'll be right back.